they've gone to 17.5, and now they're going to 15.5, and
wow.
reducing the size of the bags.
Yeah, of course.
At
John,
$30 a bag.
John, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to correct you, Joe. In my opinion, mankind has conquered the Earth for the most part, and the law of the universe, or the law of God's law of survival of the fittest, no longer pertains to humanity. So we've been dealt another card, and I believe it's called survival of the smartest. And you're only going to survive if you're prepared and smart enough to prepare. If you're dumb enough to believe that zombie box that's hanging on your wall or on your television stand, and believe what that talking head says and take it for gospel word for word, then you're an idiot and you don't deserve to die, or you don't deserve to survive, and you're not going to, because you're not going to have time to prepare. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. We're going to cross the point of no return, and very, very soon, folks, we're going to come across the point where it's going to be too late to prepare.
That's right. That's right, John. You know what's funny is I was in Walmart today, and Walmart was it was the busiest that I've seen it, and I can't tell you how long. And you know what people's focus was, John? Stuffed animals and chocolates. And don't get me wrong, I mean, February 14th, okay, Valentine's Day, everything else, but people need to wake up, especially the people that are aware of what's going on in the world. What's important to you? You know, what is important to you? Celebrating these pagan holidays, and that's what they are when it all comes down to it. I mean, it's great, you know, get chocolates, get a teddy bear or whatever, but if I was you, buy your loved one 550 rounds of .22 ammo. Or something like that. Get them something that they can actually freaking use. You know, now that's love. If you ever, and it's shiny. Women like shiny stuff, right? Well, get them brass, because brass shines right up. It's beautiful. To hell with chocolates. You know? That's what I'm talking about. Stuffed animal? No. Get her a set of targets. That's what I'm talking about. They got nice colors and everything else. I'm sure you can get one that looks like a teddy bear if you want. But start focusing, folks. Turn it around and start focusing on that. Because let me tell you something. You can have all the food in the world, but if you don't have the guns and the ammo to back it up, you ain't going to survive. And furthermore, when you have brass and lead and guns, you can go and take what you need in the event that you run out of food. Or you can go hunt for food. So buy that Valentine brass and lead tomorrow, vice a teddy bear and chocolates. And that's
Joe, you're feeling a sense of urgency, aren't you?
Well, could you notice, Griff?
Well, I just wanted to hear you say
it. I am feeling an extreme sense of urgency, and you know, Griff, what really makes it that way? I'll be honest with you. It's not. It's a culmination of things. It's a fact that here these idiots in Washington are squabbling over $2.5 trillion in cuts over 10 years. Now, the federal deficit is $1.5 trillion. And the cuts, when divided by 10, would equate to $250 billion a year, still running a deficit of $1.25 trillion a year. That just shows you, folks, that they're not freaking serious. Why? Why are they not serious? Why is there no urgency? And then when they talk about cuts, when they talk about things to cut, do you hear them cutting out illegal wars? No. You don't hear them cutting out illegal wars. Or the fact that programs like Medicare lose $600 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse over 10 years. Do you hear them reining that in? No. How about tort reform? Anything like that to lower insurance costs? Then you don't need Obamacare or anything else. No, you don't hear them talking about that. Why? Because politicians are lawyers. They like it when people can sue people. They're not going to put in something like tort reform, because then people won't be able to sue as much. So you're not going to find lawyer politicians enacting legislation that would go against their lawyer friends. It ain't going to happen, you know? And I can go on and on. We can go down the list of unconstitutional organizations within government. But the fact remains that they're not serious about doing the right thing and restoring this country, and it begs to ask the question, why?
Well, Joe, they're soon going to be issuing some austerity measures here in this country, but they're going to do it very, very slowly. If you check out the website at thefreedomlinkradio.com, you click on an article that I brought to light. Obama wants the poor to freeze. In his 2012 budget, he's taking out several $billions out of the LIHEAP program that the poor use to heat their homes during the winter months. And that is going to cut very much, quite a bit of money out of there and cut that program short. And there's going to be a lot of people starting to freeze when that takes place.
That's right. No, you're right, John. And don't get me wrong. I think that people definitely need a hand up when they hit a rough patch. But is that the responsibility of government to do so? You know, it's been a talk for a long time. And then the fact is, based on the values and the virtues that this country was founded on, no. The answer is resoundingly no, it's not. That's not what the purpose of government is. And the problem is people have become far too dependent on government in one way, shape, or form. And that's got to stop. And does that mean that there's going to be austerity measures that take place? Well, yeah. I mean, let me say this. If you're going to rein it in, then do it right. Now, can you just take people cold turkey? Hell no, man. They'll freaking lose their minds. Something's got to be done. And I just don't think there's enough interest to do it right, you know, John. It really comes down to that. And we're at a precipice. We really are. And a lot of countries are seeing that they're at a precipice, and they're doing something about it. Now, are they being poked and prodded to do it? Are they tools for these agendas? Absolutely they are. They most certainly are. And I have no doubt about it that Egypt, there's ulterior motives there. And I have no doubt about that down in Algeria, the same thing's going on. But people are coming to find out that, hey, you want to know something? When we band together, we really can make a difference. But nobody in this country is going to be able to pull that off without the backing of the military. Ain't going to happen.
How interesting, Joe, that you should use the word precipice, as it was one of the words that I used in my King's Court last week, as we stand upon the precipice of time and gaze upon the chasm of eternity.
Ooh, very poetic. Yeah, Griff, what's up?
Do you really believe the people in the square brought about change and the downfall of the government?
Not at all. They were a means to an end. That's all they were. That's right. They were
and they were
unknowing
used.
puppets. They were unknowing puppets. They didn't know
used.
that they were. Yeah. As far as they know, hey, they got this guy out. Great. Okay, so where are you at now? You understand? See what I'm saying? Okay, so now what?
It was manipulation behind the scenes for the most part that made Mubarak do what he did. It It had very little to do with the people in the square. Of course, it had an impact on world image, opinion, and all of that, but that doesn't mean squat.
No, it's.
You see, the people listening to the news can't conceive of some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. They can't imagine it. Their minds will not function in these areas. Let's go back, and Joe, bear with me now. Money. What is money? What is money?
You're doing it again, aren't you?
No, it's important. Bob Chapman said, it kind of burned in my head. He said it really doesn't matter. Well, no, it does matter. Damn right it matters. It's the basis for all of this. You must understand that there is no dollar. There's no dollar, and the same generally applies to all of the currencies in the world because they're all based on smoke and mirrors, an illusion. They're not backed by anything, and they can make as much as they want to, especially the United States being a reserve currency. The reserve currency status after World War II in 1945 that gave us a unique position. And since we had bombed all of the manufacturing in the world, we were on top, and we were producing, and it gave us a real nice jumping off point into world power. But there is no such thing as a dollar. It's a piece of paper that has no value and has no connection with the government.
Right, I agree.
We went off the gold standard. That meant that it simplified, oversimplified. That meant we could spend more than we had in gold in Fort Knox or elsewhere.
Sure. That means the printing presses can just rage out of control.
Yes, and then we went off the silver standard because we wanted to spend more than we had in silver.
Mm-hmm.
We exceeded our ability to match the silver in the vault with the paper that we're printing. And we went on the Federal Reserve. We took the money at that time that represented wealth in precious metals, and we gave it to a private company called Federal Reserve. Private company, Federal Express, Federal Reserve. And they issued promissory notes that no one knew what they promised. And they don't know because they don't promise anything. It is a blatant big lie. So they started calling it dollars and money. Well, it's not money, and it's not dollars. It's a promissory note, as you would go in and borrow money with a promissory note.
Right, based
it's
on
a
your labor.
Note.
It's based on your labor. That's what it is. It
is not based on the labor when it's on their side or on the government side. When it crosses over and when it's loaned to people
now it's
or
not.
given to people, then it becomes labor.
Right.
But it doesn't start out as representing labor at all.
No, exactly right.
When they sell it, they're selling a piece of paper that has no value.
Right.
And the people, the people have bought into a system that is enslaving them.
Exactly
Everything
right.
that they have is at risk through that paper system.
Mm-hmm.
That is a con. Some of the con people that I used to know in prisons, the government and the paper system is better than any con that I've ever seen anywhere. And it'll enslave everybody that buys into it. And everybody works all of their life for a piece of paper, and they think they're making money and investing in stock market and so on. It's not true. None of it's true. It's a lie.
Sure.
And Bob Chapman would agree with that if he were here right now. I know he would.
Absolutely.
So we have three presidents that refuse to take, I'll just say $27 trillion back in the Treasury. Use that as a point of reference. They've refused to take the 27 back in the Treasury, and they recently stole $4.5 trillion out of a Bank of America here in Richmond through the Fed. They stole it. And after Troutman Sanders put pressure on Christopher Story in England, he died. He died after that happened, right in that communications with the Federal Reserve's lawyer firm.
Right.
So they killed him. Somebody killed him. Other people have been killed.
Sure.
If anybody in Congress ever stood up to this, they would die, or they would be exposed for running around with 16 naked virgins in the hallway. You know?
And you know what's sick, Griff, is the fact that they would die, and if you notice, it's kind of been getting ramped up here lately. I'd say in the last 10, 15 years, people have been dying at a much greater pace. And still nobody sees anything or understands what's really going on, and they won't. They won't. I mean, they could do it on national TV. You know, they could do it like the Saudis do at Chop Chop Square. You know, doling out punishment.
Yeah, and it's forgotten. Let me give you the best example I thought of the other day: the Chinese missile that was fired off the coast of California. Have you heard anybody talk about that in the last month or so?
Why? No, it's forgotten.
No, it's a forgotten issue. They fired an ICBM off the coast of California, and nobody talked about it.
Right. No, it was an airplane.
It could have been an illusion. But where the hell are the people? What are they thinking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
What does it take? If half the United States fell into the water, I'm sure there would be great numbers of people that would forget it the next day.
Yeah, I'm sure there would. I mean, it's sad but true. Folks, anybody that wants to get in on this conversation, the number to call, 646-727-3387. When we come back, we'll take your calls and continue this conversation. But our website, www.thefreedomlinkradio.com. This is Freedom Link Radio on the Intel Hub News Network. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Are you still paying your credit cards and so-called bank loans thinking